Hi everyone. Today we're just gonna mess around with the Rhino 7 Sub-D tools and just probably play with some contours and try to get some kind of cool striations happening. So I'm gonna make kind of a tower structure with one of the Sub-D planes. And again, you'll need Rhino 7 to do this, so you might have to upgrade. And we don't really do a lot of hand modeling, so I figured today we'll just go ahead and try some. And I'm just going to take these two planes, widen them out just a bit, and we're going to bridge them together, just like that. And then maybe we'll take the top here. Let's see, let's just do this top portion. You're going to select the planes and the edge curves. You need to hold Control Shift. I'm just going to rotate it just a bit, just like that, so we can get kind of a nice figure happening. And then let's bridge the bottom and the top, just like that. I might bring this portion down just a bit, and I'm going to thin up the top there. And if we're going to do some contours, we should probably give it a little bit more geometry to work with. So I'm just going to take this middle face and the bottom face and just kind of pull it down just a bit so we get kind of a figure like this. I think that'll look pretty cool. I'm just going to make it a bit taller. And we're going to take that to the top there. I'm going to shrink that portion down. Something like that's going to look pretty cool, I think. What if we take the bottom here and rotate it? That should look pretty cool. And I'm just gonna make it a little bit thicker at the bottom. So that should turn out pretty cool. Alright, let's jump into Grasshopper. I'm just gonna start off with a B-rep. Plug in our Sub-D model. I'm going to type in contour. Okay. And let's do subdivisions at, or contour lines at 0.75. Hopefully it's not too dense. It might be. That seems about right. I'm going to hide our Sub-D model. Let's give it a different kind of vector. So let's type in XYZ to construct a point. Use the first and second point there. First one for the Y, I'm just going to type in 5 for now. Second one, let's do 10. We'll just double it. So I'm basically doing this so it creates the contour direction and kind of an odd direction rather than just in the Z. And then we're going to type in vector 2 point. That way, if we're going to render this out, it'll start to kind of show off in elevation, not only in just plan, right? And we'll give that to the contour. There we go. Let's raise the Y just a hair. Might take a little bit of time, just because there's so many lines. There we go. That's looking better. Bring it up. Let's do 6.25 maybe. There we go. That's starting to look pretty good in elevation. Let's bring it up even further. Let's try 7. Yeah, okay. And then let's add some kind of striations to this. So I'm just going to type in divide length, just like that. And we'll start off with maybe 3 for now. See where that gets us. And then we're going to use dispatch to split up the points in 2 lists, just like that. And for the second list of points, let's move it in the Z direction. This geometry in the Z direction. start off with 5. Okay, then let's weave these two together. I'm going to create some polylines from this. And then I'm going to type in fillet. We'll give it a radius of 2 for now. And that should be starting to make some pretty nice lines throughout here. Let's just hide everything. Yeah, starting to get some really cool effects happening already. Okay, let's just type in pipe. Okay, that's a little bit big for the radius. We'll just type in 1 for now. Okay, and then the segments around the mesh pipe, I'm just going to put that at 6 so it doesn't get too complicated in there. Let's bake it out, see what we're starting to get. So that's looking pretty cool. Yeah, it's looking pretty nice. Let's try, what if we move, it's still not looking the greatest in the elevational pathway, so let's try moving it those same points in the Y direction as well. So I'm just going to copy this over, plug it into here, just give it a new vector, plug that into here, and then we'll weave that back into the list. Okay, let's increase it. Right, maybe go a little even further. Get it really distorted. Okay. See what that's starting to look like. That's looking pretty cool. I might tone down the radius here. There we go. In actuality, what I might do is turn this down just a bit so it's not super crazy. And then from here, let's turn this down to 2, maybe. And let's put this down to 0.4 for the contour distance. That'll give us even more lines. And let's bake that out, see what it starts to look like. Very cool. That angle doesn't look nearly as good as the other ones. Okay, I'm going to undo that. Let's bring back our sub-D model, and I'm just going to rotate it around just a bit. So I kind of want to take a view probably from here, I'm thinking. I might just take the sub-D model. Let's make that middle section just a hair bigger. Let the Grasshopper run again. Okay, and I might just rotate the overall model so it aligns with our XYZ. So the Y kind of gets kind of exaggerated just a bit more. Okay, and let's bake this out one more time, see what it's starting to look like there. So that's kind of the bad angle. Okay, there we go. That's starting to look better and better. There might be a few too many striations, but we can mess with that in just a bit. Okay, the radius, so maybe the first one, let's turn this up again, maybe. Just make them a bit bigger. I'm going to turn our divide length back to 3. That's looking better in my eyes. Okay, and then let's bring that number up for the actual move. good. The Z is kind of just, maybe that's got to go down. So let's put a new number slider on that. Let's bring that just a bit lower. Lay it on 2. That's looking better. And let's go back to our sub D model again. I'm just going to make it a bit bigger. Wait for our Grasshopper to load up again. I'm just going to rotate it one more time. Awesome. Let's bake that out. So that's looking pretty sweet right there. What I'm going to do is just join it all together. Flatten that down. We're going to hide the sub D model one more time. And we'll just bake that out for our final model. That's looking pretty sharp right there. This side's not the greatest, but we're not going to render it from that side anyway. So that's pretty interesting. I think the most interesting parts are in here. Yeah, kind of flower-like. What happens if we bring down the number one more time? Let's bring it down to 2 again. I don't want it to look too overly complicated. It does look pretty cool though. I like it, we'll use it. Okay. And just to add a little bit more to it, what I'm going to do is just rotate it and tap Alt so it duplicates. We're just going to add a little bit of extra detail with another material throughout it. Okay. So if we go back to here, we're just going to change the layer. Let's just say it's concrete. So we start to get a little bit more different striations happening again. It doesn't have to be a super big move. There we go. I look better from that angle. Just going to push it back just a bit. Maybe we can scale it too. And bring it down. Over. Maybe I'll scale it back just a bit more where it was. I'm trying to get moments like this happening. There we go. That's looking much better. And let's do this material as dark. If we go to render that out, our render view, you'll start to get something like this. Awesome. So let's start building our landscape out. I'm going to change the color of this. I know it doesn't matter, but I want to be able to see it a little bit better. There we go. I'm going to take this, scale that in. Very cool. Okay. So I'm just going to select everything, type in bounding box. We're going to explode that out. This will be our base. We're going to make it pretty big. We're going to rebuild it, the surface, 125 by 125. Sounds great. I'm going to lock down our Grasshopper model. Okay, we'll turn our points on. Let's go to the select tab. We'll do the brush. Okay. Let's make it so, let's do 2 hills maybe. Okay. Maybe there's a river that kind of flows in between. Okay, what we'll do is just bring that up just a bit. Okay, type in smooth. Bring it all the way just about up, and then we'll probably have to move the surface around just a bit. Yep. So if our our view is, let's say, right there. Actually, that might work out pretty well. I like it. Okay, we're just going to make a surface for the water there. Right, we'll bring that lower. Just like that. Let's go to Arctic view. Bring it lower than the actual model. We're going to lower our landscape. So it looks like it's kind of floating there. And I might just shrink this up so it fits in there just a bit better. Awesome. Which side actually looks better? I kind of like that side a lot more. I'm going to rotate the overall model. We'll unlock it. So in Arctic mode, if I think I have one of the layers as glass, it won't show up. So that's why it's only looking like one model right now. Okay. Rotate that just a bit this way. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna split up. Actually, I'm gonna bring our water just a bit higher. Actually, we're gonna copy the grass layer. And then this is gonna be our kind of ground. So we'll just label that as sand for now. I'm going to bring the water back down to where it was. We're going to make our grass layer again. Just pasting. Call it grass. And we're going to scale that in 1D. So it looks like it's the grass and the sand are kind of merging together. And we'll change this out to water. And we'll export this out to Lumion. All right, so it imported pretty nicely, relatively quickly. So let's just start to add some materials. All right, so go to materials here. Start off with the grass. Let's do some wild grass in here. Let's make sure it doesn't take away from the sandy area too much there. So I'm going to turn down the grass length, just like that. Let's make this a soil. Something with maybe a little darker. Looks pretty good. The water looks decent to me. And then let's start messing with what's going on here. So I'm going to go to various materials. So that looks pretty good for now, and we can always change it later. And let's do something. We need something to be able to show off the ribbing that we started to put in here. So we can't go too textured because everything in Lumion's kind of linear. You'll kind of miss all the detail. So that looks pretty good to me for now. And we can have some plants rolling with that. Something like that. Get the spread up maybe here. It's a little bit too much. Maybe something like that. What I might do just to speed up the Lumion is just take that off for now, and then we'll put it back later. Right now it's relatively light. Okay, and let's just start to place in some trees here. What kind of trees should we use? Maybe some conifers. How big are they? I didn't check the scale, so I guess we did all right there. I'm just going to paint them in. Be a relatively dense setting here. If it doesn't look good, try it again. I think our view's gonna be right about here. That might be a little bit too dense. Let's try that one more time. Turn down the density just a bit. You don't have to delete every single one. Looks a little claustrophobic in there, so let's try that one more time. We'll turn it down to about here. Turn it down just a smidge again. Something about like that. Let's get into our scene. Oop, we got something in there, but that's fine. That one kind of annoys me. Take that away, take these away. These don't belong here. Okay. Let's get down into there a little bit. I think our view is going to be right about in here, or something like that. So what we'll do is fill out the backspace here pretty heavily because our site model is a little bit light. So we want to make sure we're kind of tricking the view just a bit. Zoom in again. That looks pretty good. I'm going to still fill in that back just a bit more. Oh, there's a lot of trees in there. Just clipping planes getting at it a little teeny bit. Alright, and let's add in some plants. So I'm going to bring this relatively low there. I'm going to get kind of a plan view. We're just going to start painting them in just along the shoreline there. Hopefully with my mouse it doesn't catch on our model. Looks alright. Let's get another plant in there. Maybe we'll increase the density. Okay, and then some of those we're going to have to drop them. Looks like they're floating just a bit. We never seen a floating plant necessarily unless it's in the wind. Okay, so we'll have to drop those just a bit. So I'm just going to select all through here, and we'll select all through, this one's a little trickier, here. Oops, did we lose our other selection? That's alright. We're just going to drop them all down, just so it's into the landscape. Sometimes when you have sloping surfaces in Lumion, it thinks of it as flat and it won't touch necessarily directly to the ground. So you gotta fake it a little bit, but it still looks alright. Gives a little variation to everything. And then I'm gonna try some of the effects in Lumion. Let's go to fog here. And, oop, that's not fog, is it? Nope. Let's do that. I'm gonna have some fog kind of rolling through the center of this thing. Put one there. I'll make a bigger one. Just all through here, just at one level. Just about like that, maybe. See how that starts to look. Might look pretty good. Could look bad. Different colors. Okay, let's see what our rendering starting to look like. Let's do realistic for now. I'm still going to turn on a sun so we can get the striations to show up. Let's go to our camera, 2-point perspective. We might have to take a couple of those fog layers off, but I think it's going to start shaping up pretty cool. I'm going to increase the focal length to about, let's try it to here. I think that's right about our view. Alright, we still need some work on the landscape, but we're going to get there. Take a snapshot. Let's delete out some of the fog, or the orange ones at least. That, that. Okay, and then it looked like our grass was really showing a harsh line, even though it doesn't appear to be, but maybe we'll fix that up just a bit later. I want to paint in some more of these smaller plants by the scene here. I'll just place them rather than paint them. Doesn't look necessarily natural, I guess, in the rendering viewport, but that can all change really quickly too once we go to the final view. Alright, let's try that again. Okay, we'll delete out a couple of these. Let's get rid of this one, this one, this one. Just the ones that kind of look like they're floating, we don't want. Okay, let's work with that for now. Awesome. Go back to our sun. Let's adjust the height there. Bring it around. That's looking pretty good. I want to change the sky. Maybe we don't even have a sky. And let's go to FX again. Go to sky. Let's create sky and clouds so we can kind of just mess with it on our own. Let's turn the low clouds up so we got kind of a dramatic scene. I think there should probably be some fog down through here, so we'll mess with that in just a bit. Let's go back to our sun. Downplay that quite a bit. Looking pretty good. Might bring up the focal length some more. Let's bring this up maybe. Looking all right. Might have to put some background trees in there. Not sure yet. Wonder what happens if we do an up view. Okay. I feel like our 2-point doesn't look right for some reason. Well, must be right. Okay. I'm gonna save that view. I'm liking it. And I guess that fog's just kind of annoying me now, so I'm gonna take that out. Okay, let's go back to our rendering here. Go back to the view. Let's add in some precipitation maybe. That'll add in the fog for us if we want it.
Turn down the particle quality and the particle size. Let's bring in that fog amount to the seam pretty far in. Okay, I'm going to bring that back. Let's go ahead and render, see what it's starting to look like. That's looking pretty good. The grass looks a little odd throughout here, so I'm going to bring up the size quite a bit. And maybe we need a person in there just to give some scale. Maybe we could put some rocks through here too. Let's go ahead. We're going to build it right into our view. Let's start with the grass there. If the grass goes in the water, it's fine, I suppose. Let's bring up the grass size. Okay. That seems fine. Let's go to nature. Let's see here. We're going to do rocks. Have that weird glitch with Lumion where it doesn't show the texture maps. Kind of a big family of rocks there. We're going to bring them all down. But they're a little bit more embedded. And then this little empty patch over here, maybe we'll add another kind of bigger rock accompanied by a couple smaller ones maybe, or maybe they're kind of intermixed, so it kind of cheats it a little bit. Okay, we'll select those, bring them down. I'm going to add in a couple plants over there just so there's not a bald spot. Oop, that might looks like we messed up the scale. That's all right. Okay. Let's get a person in here for some sense of scale. She looks like she's exploring. Why not? Put her right through here. View. Hopefully we can see her. We'll have to move her down. Let's go back. Okay, let's lower that fog out just a bit. And compositionally, I think we need some birds up there. Just to fill out the sky just a bit more. Maybe just some pigeons out in the distance there. Might be a little bit too light of a bird. See if they got any darker ones. Seagulls might work. Do it a few times, so there's quite a few birds out there. I'm liking it, yeah. So I'm going to add in the green, the leaves to the tile material that we had before, or the concrete. I'm going to bring kind of some nice contrast throughout everywhere. So I'm going to bring the ground level all the way up again. Okay, let's see if there's any different type of leaf. Oop, not leaf size. Let's do leaf type. Ooh, that neon looked pretty good. Let's try that. Come on, Lumion. There we go. Yeah, so that's looking really nice. I think we'll render that out.
The sky we might want to change just a bit. Wait for this to go. I wonder what happens if we do snow. With the leaves on, it definitely slows down Lumion quite a bit.
Let's see what happens when we get a little bit of snow in there. Snow definitely helps, so let's render that out. Wait for the preview to finish. And we're at 82. Hit save, yes. Let's see what this is starting to look like. Yeah, I'm liking it. I wonder if we kind of twist the shot out once just to see what it looks like. Other than that, I think we're all set for Photoshop. Alright, so I did end up kind of centering out the actual scene just a bit more so the water was in the middle, and I just put the lady.
Nothing big. So I'm just going to do an auto tone for this, see what it looks like. Kind of like the sepia kind of tone to everything.
So maybe what I'll do is find a mixture of the two.
Control layer, Control J.
Bring that. Now I'm just going to turn the opacity down so we get kind of a mixture. Let's merge those layers together. I'm just going to use the burn and dodge tool just to lighten up some areas, bring in some contrast to the greens here. Okay, and then these light areas, we'll kind of bring them out just a bit there. Alright, I'm just going to brighten up the sky just around certain parts. Then we'll get to the vignetting, of course. Hit B for brush tool, and D to reset your black and white colors through there. And then from here, I'm just going to do the top, do the bottom. Okay, Control T to free transform. I'm going to bring that up just a bit. Just about there. And I'm going to use my eraser tool just to clean up the bottom there just a bit more. And we'll be all finished up. So thanks for watching. Tell your friends. Please subscribe if you haven't. And we'll be talking with you soon. Bye.